5 weeks ago. Yeah, we'll do it as soon as we can. Don't worry, anything. We'll take care of it. You know we'll take care of her, even if it means that we're going to have to replace all the stuff in her room. Yes, Steven broke those. Yeah, we're worried too. I'll keep you guys updated. Knight hung up the phone and looked at his wife, who was lying down in bed. Evening and Ballard wanted us to take her to see a psychiatrist as soon as we can. Actually, they beat me to the punch in suggesting it. I'll call both Sakura and Posey in the morning and see if there's anyone they can recommend. Velvet mourned. I hate this. I hate seeing our girls like this night. And he turns. It's a damn drug. It hurt Twilight, now it's hurting Tavi. I don't know that, Vel. He said, moving to his wife. Maybe it's something else. We won't know until we take her in. You didn't see Night. The look in her eyes. It was like she wasn't our Tavi anymore. The look on Velvet's face was heartbroken. It wasn't our niece, Night. I think she would have murdered Sunny if she had the chance. She turned away from him. I can't bear to see another of our girls go through this again. He reached over and embraced her. We'll give her the help she needs. Evening and Ballard are counting on us, and I would do it even if they weren't. There was a knock on the door. Mr. Knight, Mrs. Velvet. The door opened slowly, revealing Trixie. I just thought you would want to know. Sunset's up. Velvet, despite her pain, looked out the bed and raced for the door in a flash. She nearly made it to Sunset's room when she stumbled, only to be caught by Minuet. She's fine, Mrs. Velvet, Minuet explained. We're giving her some slice of onion and talk to the others, but I think our bigger problem's in the other room. How are you feeling? Truthfully, I don't know what hurts more right now. My stomach or my heart? Philip looked down the hall that led towards the addition of the house that had been built. Sitting outside of the door, looking very uncomfortable, was Rainbow. Where are the others? Inside with Octavia, Rainbow yawned. It's literally taking every one of the martial artists we have in this house right now to keep Tavi pinned down. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's like Tavi's got the strength of like 4 people or something. I've never seen anything like it. She actually managed to land a hit on Dodgy. And why are you there? Velvet looked to see Knight standing next to her, looking at the teen. He already knew the answer. And though he didn't say anything, they were worried for him. Not gonna let her go anywhere near you or Sunny. Tavi's one of us, but between you and me, that whatever's in there, that's not Tavi. Not the one we know. Well, I need to go in there and talk to her. I trust my niece won't hurt me. Frankly, right now, I don't. But you're the one in charge here, Rainbow said, standing up and moving from the door. Dad! Fluttershy shouted from her room. It's too early in the morning for this, hon, Posey said, trying not to fall asleep in her coffee. What did you do? In the kitchen making omelets, Discord had a look of very innocence on his face, which of course meant that everyone knew he was guilty as hell. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. Hun, Posey said simply, in that simple syllable that contained multitudes of every raised eyebrow, every house statement, and every angry glare. This was clearly a married woman who knew her husband all too well. And he knew it too. Okay, look. I just want to make up for not being there, okay? It's not a contest, Steve. His wife reminded him. You're right, it's not. He said in a tone that sounded to him. I heard. I just want to make it up to her, okay? I don't know what you did, but you'll want to explain it soon. At that point, Fluttershy came out of her room with bags in tow. The look on her face somewhere between hurt, testy, and worried. Dad, I'm sure you have a very good reason for doing it, but could you please tell me why you canceled our plans to go to Modesto? Discord gave his daughter a bemused smile, because it's nothing but farmland. Fluttershy crossed her arms. Except for the camping area and the cabin we took forever to find. He sidled over to her and put a loving arm around her shoulders. Fluttershy, dear, don't you think that I would have made sure my darling daughter and her stalwart friends had the time of their lives? With a slight hand that could have made a magician, or at least a particular teenage one Fluttershy knew, jealous, he produced an ivory-colored folder with gold embossing on it. You just might prefer this instead. Fluttershy took it and looked at it. Club Tropicana? Posey woke up slightly at that. The one in Harmony? I would have sent them up at the one in Jamaica, but I didn't know the others had passports, he said with a shrug. Posey walked over to the coffee maker, a slight smile on her face. You old charmer, she said fondly to her husband, though. He winked, our eye, though. As for satisfied, she opened the folder and looked at the documents within. Dad, this is one of the best resorts in the world. Exclusive luxury beachfront villas, complete with a private beach, golf course, and reservations desk service. So premier, in fact, the waiting list is a year in advance, and that's if you're a celebrity. The merely wealthy have to. You've got 2 weeks to enjoy everything that is there, as well as the town of Harmony itself, in nearby Cambria and Morro Bay. You'll love the place. You will, Posey said, moving to where her husband was. Your father took me there before we were married. It's a gorgeous place. A look of amazement crossed the teen's face, followed by realization there was no way she could afford this, much less her friends. Are you sure? He waited off. Just put it on the card. In fact, you can pretty much put everything you all need on that card. Heavens knows American Express charges me a fortune for it anyway. Sis? Since it was jolted out of her thoughts beyond that one word, she looked up at the flames to make sure she hadn't slipped into a dream. The flames themselves were almost out, and more of glowing embers from charred wood, small tendrils of smoke escaped to the sky. But the smoke was clearing out that Sunset could see across the other side of the concrete ring, and on that other side was a plum-haired girl with locks of magenta and violet, looking right at her. Sunset said nothing. She wasn't sure what she could say anymore. Twilight looked at her. I really don't know what to think anymore. I really don't. So I'm going to see what's on my mind. And I don't want you to say a single thing. I just want you to listen. And Sunset merely nodded, waiting for Twilight to continue. I don't know what's going on with you and the others, and I don't care. All I care about is our relationship. You're supposed to be my sister. You're supposed to be there for me when I need you. And I'm supposed to be there for you when you need me. Davi and Daisy think you're running from something. Something so bad it makes you refuse to talk about your past. Because you're so frightened that you refuse to accept you even exist. Much less tell us. And I have to wonder, are you in danger? Are we? Are you putting us in danger? Sunset glazed up at Twilight, a horrified look on her face. She was about to say something when Twilight said, Don't talk. Twilight moved over to next to Sunset and sat down. This is the part I hate the most about you, Sunset Simmer. You're supposed to be my sister. Sisters rely on each other. Our cousins and I have been there for each other through thick and thin. You know that. And we've fought before. Usually my fault. Because I'm probably not the most mature person on the planet when it comes to my emotions. And you and I should be the same way. You saved my life. Literally and nearly at the cost of yours. That is something you're afraid of. But you're not turning to the family that loves you. That's there for you. Twilight got back up and dusted off her shorts. I had to wonder. Should we be afraid as well? And the girl who's brave enough to throw herself in front of a speeding truck in order to save my life is afraid of something. We should probably be afraid too. Twilight took a step away from Sunset, her back to the flame-haired girl. Please, if I'm wrong, tell me. If you love this family enough to protect it from whatever you're afraid of, then you'll say something. Because I have a family I love, and I have to protect as well. Sunset looked at her sister. Twilight, a gasp sounded. Both Sunset and Twilight leaned over to see Sunset simmer. And see was surprisingly Coco Palmel of all people. Twilight? Coco gasped, looking at her soon-to-be school mentor and the taller Sunset simmer. Coco, what are you doing here? Twilight asked. My aunt and cousin are in town for Grandma's funeral, Coco explained. Then she decided we needed a few days of relaxation, so she brought us here. What are you doing here? Spending time with my sister, my cousin, and my friends. But to their surprise, it was the two Sunsets that looked at each other with fascination. The taller one spoke first. Wow, Sunset said, scratching the back of her head in surprise, knowing full well who she was face to face with. I guess it's true what they say. There's someone on the planet that looks exactly like you. Yeah, color me surprised. The sort of flame-haired girl smiled off her hand. Hi, I'm Sunset Simmer. Twilight's jaw practically dropped. What did you say your name was? It's Sunset Simmer. Now I usually go by Sui. Twilight pointed at the girl next to her. Because she's Sunset Simmer. Twilight looked at her with sudden fear. Twilight, I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. Sunset stammered, only to see her sister backing away in terror. Thankfully, she was stopped as she almost collided with Pinky. Hey, Twilight, be careful where you're walking. Almost ran into me. It was then that Pinky saw both sunsets and guessed. Oh my god, I think I'm going to have some awesome dreams tonight. Sunset sighed. Pinky. Nope, can't stop me from dreaming, Sonny. And it's definitely hitting all my buttons. She's been sultry. Sunset looked at her doppelganger. Look, I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation why we look alike and are both named Sunset Simmer. There is. But it's true, you're a ghost.
Is that all you could tell?
The FBI agent asked. A lot. We're waiting to testing. That's all I really remember, Sunset said. Miss Faustus just departed one day and I ran away. It started snowing heavily that night at Calmut's house. Other than I ultimately ended up at the old Flim Flam Bros factory. She taught me to be independent and resilient. As I told Shiny, I found some old seed money there, as well as the drugs I'd thrown away. I can't believe it. Solar said, her eyes still almost moist with tears. All these years, we thought you had been stillborn. We didn't check the coffin when they brought it to us. Because we believed what we were told. But it was a lie. Sully, Velvet began. No, this is not your fault. Solar's eyes blazed with anger. It is the fault of the nurse that stole my child from me, and me, my family, and I for lie. Instead, another FBI agent showed up.
Hey, I just went through your records, he said to Shining. It checks out. There was a nurse named Faustus that briefly worked there around the time when Mrs. D. Celestia gave birth, and quit a week afterwards. She worked in nail care, so there was a motive.
Assuming this is all one big coincidence, Simmer said. No, I know this is not. I know my child when I see her, Montonne Sol, she told her daughter. She is taller than you, but a mother knows her child. At this point, Posey came in, and asked a look on her face. Well, Sunset, well, the one we know, has a 99% match to both either one in Mrs. D. Celestia. She is the missing child. I have a twin sister. Shimmer looked at Sunset, surprise still setting in. I have a twin sister, one that was supposed to be dead. Well, here you are.
Well, this has been a summer, Shining said. First we have that freak hurricane. Then we had those deadhead murders tied to the Canadian government. Now I find out my newest sister has supposedly been dead all these years.
Sunset looked at Summer and Solaire, then to her family. She instantly wrapped possessive arms around her, while Tyree and the triplets subconsciously moved closer to Sunset, as if Solaire was gone with her at any moment. What happens to me now? She asked in a choked voice. I believe we need to talk. Solaire told Velvet Knight. I know you love her, and she is supposed to be your family. I don't want to bring that up for you, but it would be just as horrific as done to me as those years ago. I agree, Velvet said so horribly. I'm not letting her go, Twilight insisted, taking one of Sunset's hands, holding it tight. She's my sister, all sister, Antigua said, grabbing her arm, while the triplets placed their hands on Sunset's shoulder. I guess that was decided already, wasn't it? Simmer said, laughing. Yeah. Sunset said, a little overcome by emotion. It was. And just to speed things along, 10 seconds ago, always forever now. This is your world now, my dearest grandchild. I made it as safe as I could for you. Guard it well. What is yours, just as you are his. And this is your bailiwick that I charged with protecting. Sunset opened her eyes.